I'll be completely honest. There's a lot that I don't know about Mississippi State's future going into 2025 and beyond. Like, I don't know if Jeff Lebby is the long-term answer at head coach. I don't know who's going to be the starting quarterback week 1. I don't know if the team did enough in the transfer portal and on the recruiting trail to be considered a threat to go to a bowl game. But what I didn't know is this offense should be more explosive. It should be more Lebby-esque like it was in Norman going into year 2. And it's largely due to adding in players like Georgia's Anthony Evans that could eventually become household names and the leading target down in Starkville. So let's talk about the move. Welcome on into SEC Unfiltered. It's Cole Thompson here. And today we talk about the Bulldog becoming a Bulldog. Just instead of red and black, it's now maroon and white. Just make sure that you like the video, hit the ring notification, and subscribe to the channel because we talk college football every single day. Download the podcast version of the show wherever you get your podcast listening systems. Follow us on the socials, link in the description. Follow me at Mr. Cole Thompson, and check out all of our great work found at SECUnfiltered.com. This episode is brought to you by our friends over at GameTime. Download the GameTime app and use the promo code SECU for $20 off your first purchase. Promo code SECU at sign up whenever you use the GameTime app. College baseball, college basketball, MLB, NHL, NBA, your favorite concerts, GameTime is the #1 place for you to be. Anthony Evans, speed, and more speed. That's what you can expect from him. He is somebody that is known for being a burner. When he was at Judson High School, ran a 20.1 200-meter dash, ran a 10.9 100-meter dash, was also very big into the triple jump. He is hyper athletic. He takes swing patterns, he takes quick hits, and he turns them into big-time games. We've seen it over the last few years. Last season, 9 catches, 88 yards. Year before, found his way into the end zone against Florida State in the Orange Bowl. Big-time catch from Gunnar Stockton, put the Bulldogs up by 60. He is a speed threat. He will take the small, intricate passes and turn them into substantial gains. And here's the biggest part. This is a dude that Jeff Lebby should be able to find an immediate role for. And the reason I say that is because of where did he commit to Georgia from? It wasn't Texas. He may have been in the Lone Star State, but initially he was going to go to Oklahoma. Who was the offensive coordinator that brought him to Norman, Oklahoma? Jeff Lebby, his now head coach down in Starkville. So there's already an identity about what is going to work for this offense. He can be a plug-and-play starter because of what you're missing. No more Kevin Coleman. Somebody has got to step on up. You watch Mississippi State has gone out into the transfer portal. They've done a good job of adding in talent. Aiden Williams from Ole Miss, Cam Thompson from NIU. They've also brought in Brennan Thompson from Oklahoma. So there's players that have a good understanding about what Lebby wants to do. And this is a guy that has 2 more years of eligibility. He also isn't just a dude that works in the slot or works on the outside, turning quick hits into substantial gains. This is a guy that can be utilized in the run game. There were jet sweeps, there were motions, there were pitch outs behind the line of scrimmage. He did a little bit of everything, rushed for 50 yards in 2024. And he also is very explosive on special teams. Go back and watch what he did during the SEC championship in 2023. 34-yard gain. He also had 124 punt return yards, 184 kickoff return yards. So this is a guy that's going to play a multitude of roles. You want to establish a foundation. That's what you're doing in year 2. For year 1, with every coach, it's all about building a culture, your identity. What do you want to be known as? And however many wins you get, that's always a positive. For however many losses you have, it's an area for improvement. Year 2 is about expanding on the culture and setting a standard. Setting a standard is bringing in players that best fit how you want to run your system. And a guy like Anthony Evans should be able to do that because before he was going down to Athens, Georgia and sitting for 2 years, he probably would have been at least a plug-and-play starter for 1 season, likely this year out in Norman, Oklahoma. So the dude's got a good understanding about what is the criteria to work in a Jeff Lebby-led offense, and you need a #1 receiver. I don't know if Luke Kroenhoek is going to be the starting quarterback. I don't know if you're going to see Blake Shapen come back in and win the starting job immediately. But you got to add weaponry around your quarterback if you want to be successful. You got to be able to add in a sufficient run game. That's why you went and you brought in Fluff Bothwell from South Alabama. There's a lot to like about those 2 moves. A guy like Anthony Evans may be very limited early on, may only be utilized on special teams, may be a red zone target, may be a guy that you just use on quick hits to go to the outside and turn up field for a first down gain. But there is a role for him in this offense. So let's go ahead and grade the move, as we always do. Elite, all league, winnable plus, winnable minus, Jag. It is very hard to get into elite and then very hard to get into all league. Most of your roster is in winnable plus, winnable minus territory. And for me, Anthony Evans, I'm going to put him in winnable plus because of the position versatility. He's lined up at the Z. He's lined up in the slot. He's lined up in a jet sweep formation to where you can utilize his legs and his straight line vertical presence. He's also been able to turn on the jets behind the line of scrimmage, make people miss. and he offers you exceptional value on special teams. When you have that, there is a role for you, a plug and play day one role. And for me, when it comes to winnable plus and winnable minus, I look at it in this scenario of how quickly can I get him on the field? I can get Anthony Evans on the field probably tomorrow, and I feel pretty good about him having some capabilities. I'm not saying he's going to be a 1,000-yard receiver. I'm not saying that he's going to come on out and be able to turn the team into a 6-win roster. I'm saying that I know what works, what doesn't with this kid. I wanted this kid to leave Judson High School and come play for me in Norman. Now he's joining forces with me in Starkville. That's a win in my book. In fact, that's a massive win in my book. And if I get to continue to see him grow, develop, and transform into the version that they thought he was going to be down in Athens, Georgia, in Starkville, how many kids are going to look at my system and say, I can be a talented playmaker. I can be a guy that people talk about as an NFL caliber draft prospect in a few years if I learn this system. I'm just the first. Anthony Evans is just simply number one in the pecking order. And there'll be a couple of other dudes that will certainly make their impact felt, but you need somebody that you feel like can add in extreme value. A guy like Anthony Evans, special teams, on the outside, whether it be as a gadget player, however we want to utilize him, it's a step in the right direction for Mississippi State. Again, I have no idea if their roster is going to be any better with the wins and loss record. Maybe they go 3-9, maybe they go 4-8, maybe they're 2-10. But the offense is going to be entertaining. It's going to be more explosive. You're going to see the version of what led Jeff Lebby down to Starkville, what sold Mississippi State on him as the right guy to lead the team. And it starts off with a player like Anthony Evans coming on in, finding his way into the end zone for 6 points, and being a consistent force in the passing attack for 2025 and beyond. Let me know in the comment section down below, what do you think of Anthony Evans still being a Bulldog, but instead of in Athens, Georgia, now it's down in Starkville, Mississippi. Like, review, hit subscribe. Make sure that you're following us on all the social channels, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, at SEC Unfiltered. Follow me at Mr. Cole Thompson and check out all of our great work found at SECUnfiltered.com. Until next time, folks, I am Cole Thompson. State, you got yourself a gadget player, and probably one that's going to find its way into the end zone more often than not. Peace.